1 second. Getting some water in. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and good night. And today is the 21st of the 10th, 2021. And in review, where we look at some of the top news that I believe are top news that you believe are top news as well. Whatever you think it is the top news. That will be the top news tonight. And there's so many different topics, but we're gonna actually touch a lot on Jamaica tonight. Actually, there's some very interesting developments which is happening down there. But before we do that, what we're gonna do is still touch on some of the updating news in regard to COVID, because as you know, we're moving from the summer, getting into autumn, getting into winter, where flu will be back and flu will be joining us, Anyway, Garry, how are you doing, sir?
Not doing too badly, my friend Sylbourne. Not doing too badly. I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? It's another Thursday. I'm glad that it's another day that we have, as you rightly say. What do we say? The blessed be the name of the Lord. What's it? The Lord is good and His mercy and what's it?
Yeah.
Today the day. What is
God
it?
is good. God is
God is
good.
good, and
God is
and all the time, and all the
all the
time.
time. God is good.
Amen. Amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Those on Instagram, those on YouTube. Um, Garry, I think I was thinking to myself that I was going to be the Lone Ranger tonight. You know what I'm saying? But you came in and said you can't leave the brother alone. You know what I'm saying? Because David just confirmed that he's been caught off into Dr. Burton. He's caught off into duty, so he can't
Okay.
make it. So,
Okay.
but yeah, listen. Interesting what is happening this week. I think one of the most pressing thing is the recent announcement yesterday by the health secretary is saying that we got to be careful. You know, if we don't be careful, we're going to go back into lockdown as we move from autumn into the winter.
Right.
Into
Right.
the winter period. And one of the key words which he said was, "We have the jabs. We just need the arm to put it in. We've got the jabs." And everybody said, "We got the jab, we got the vax, we just need the arms to put it in." Ladies and gentlemen, have you put your arms out to take the jabs? You know? Or is it boxing? Is he talking jabbing?
I
Fury?
think.
What is it?
I mean, you talk about the government. It would seem that the government wants to frighten people into another lockdown, but the I don't know if you've seen the news where Russia has stated when they're going to have, I believe, a week lockdown in Russia.
Mm,
And I mean, sometime before, anyway. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised really if the UK government decides to have a lockdown between now and Christmas. I really wouldn't be surprised, even if it's for a week or so,
mm.
because according to what the to the information getting out there, the numbers are going up, aren't they? I mean, I think the numbers are going up. They're creeping up slowly, if not already out there.
I think one of the things they said regarding the numbers creeping up is the fact that the flu is making itself present again.
Well, I mean, we've always had the flu, I mean, I don't think that should be a case of warning as such per se. I
Yeah.
think that they've always said that the flu isn't the flu a type of COVID?
Well, I mean, when in the early days when it started, and people can remember, people were seeing and were coming out and showing things on medicines, coronavirus, and I was saying, hang on a second, if coronavirus has been around for a long time, what's going on? But
Right,
as you rightly say, it's somewhat a part of the family of the flus.
correct.
Um, but what it says is that more than 50,000 COVID cases have been recorded in the UK for the first time since 17th of July. And what they're talking about is going up to maybe 100,000.
Right.
Amid calls for more restriction, Boris Johnson urged people to come forward for booster jobs when their time comes. So that is in the Christian circles. When the roll is called up yonder, will you be there? When the roll is called up yonder, will you be there to take your jab? They need the arms for that. But Mr. John said, despite high cases, the government was continuing with its plan and that things were much better now than a year ago. I
Yes.
mean, lockdown is deemed not to be something which is favorable by government and by business these days, isn't it?
Say that again. I didn't quite get that.
Yeah, lockdown is not something deemed to be favorable by government and people these days. We're just coming out of a lockdown. And even though we had come out of lockdown some time ago, there's been moving into phases where people are getting back into some level of regularity with their business, etc. And to go back, it would be a retrograde step.
I mean, I don't think it's favorable anywhere. Anywhere in this world that you look, you're finding people who oppose lockdowns.
Mm,
The fever pitch against lockdown is almost to me on the same level as the fever pitch against the vaccine.
mm,
The point is, again, our news medias, they are very biased. They are not showing the true picture across the board. There
yes,
are cities in our world. There are cities that are experiencing demonstrations even as we speak.
yes,
You know, and they're violent. Well, whether they start out peaceful and then end up violent. However, we are not being told. We are not being told, and I think that is really not a very good thing to have. All
mm.
we're hearing, for instance, like what President Biden is saying.
What, is he saying something? Does he say anything? Sorry. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you heard that he's saying that I think he's moving towards mandatory vaccinations, isn't it? Even in the city, the great city of New York,
You,
where
you mean you mean he's saying, take the vaccine, take it now, take the vaccine, take it now.
even if it's that, even if it's that, you see.
My good
Um,
friend said 70% of people that have died from COVID have been vaccinated. Evidence is out there. Do your research. Anyone would like to challenge that piece of information? Hop in my DMs. Exactly. You're saying, Gary. The, the whole thing though is that, I mean, like Jamaica is, I mean, we're going to talk about Jamaica later, but not on the whole aspect of vaccine and so. And but as far as I'm concerned, and I've said this sometime long time ago, that it seems that one has got to let the virus run its course. And this is just me from a layman speaking. That doesn't mean to say you negate the detriments. And for me personally, I social distance every day. This is my space, just like you, Gary. I'm social distancing, but not from my family. You know what I mean? And I still wear my mask. You know, anywhere I go. I mean, the other day I was in a supermarket, and I tell you that this was really scary. I was in the supermarket, and one of the guys at the checkout center, which is the self-serve, guy was coughing, man. Guy was coughing, and he was one of the workers. And man, I just left that place fast, man. I was looking for a manager to speak to, but I said maybe the manager may even have COVID too because they're all around. But it's a serious thing.
I mean, I think that I mean, why are we so sensitive now about people coughing now,
Mm.
where people have been coughing over the past 20 years? We get the cold, we get the flu because it's in the air. You know, and to me, Okay, I understand if somebody is coughing, they must put their hand over their mouth. They've got to do something. I mean,
You know,
even under normal circumstances, people would be frowned on more or less if they just coughed into the air as if there was nobody else around.
see,
I just
Garrett.
think it's proper, to me, it's proper hygiene for
Yes,
someone if they're sneezing, they not just sneeze without covering their mouth.
yes. You see, Garrett, I had a show sometime at the start of the pandemic period, on Thursdays with Garry, with David and the other guys then. And I wanted to cough so badly one time, so badly. But I was scared because if I started to cough, everybody. So I had to do something like this. I had to disappear and then went on this massive cough. It was just a tickle in my throat. It was literally just a tickle in my throat. But I just couldn't let anybody hear me cough, you know? And I think that is one of the things now whereby I think, the question is lockdown welcome? And that is the question to ask person. And I put this out to people because you're all part of the show, the guest. Is lockdown welcome? Do you welcome lockdown again? Because there's this C, the lockdown C. That's what they call it, the C. They have different other categories, A, B, C. C is where they start to put restrictions. And the health secretary said yesterday that if we don't behave, you're going to lose your freedom. I'm paraphrasing it there. But if you don't behave, you're going to lose your freedom, guys. So make sure you behave. Yeah. As somebody say, wash your D hands regularly as well. We get taught from kids. But I mean, we can go into church and we can say, wash your tiny hands. Watch it. As a clap your tiny hands. Wash your tiny hands. Which one is
Clap your tiny hands, clap your tiny. Yes, yes, yes.
you know, no, that's interesting though, Gary. But you know, the whole aspect of this now is that people will now have to somehow recognize, because at the end of the day, COVID is here, and as far as I'm concerned, what I'm picking up now is that the vaccinated and the unvaccinated are all susceptible to it. You know, we have people have been passing away and dying, and you know, many people, if someone dies and they die from something that may be related to COVID, people always justify it and say, nobody guarantee that everything will be okay just because you're vaccinated, and depending on how old you are. If you got underlying sickness, they'll say, well, that's underlying sickness. It is not COVID. So everybody justify it as all they want. So I said, live your life, man.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think, personally, with all what is happening now, with all what's taking place, all of this, the lockdown there's a plan behind all of that.
Mm,
They call it herd immunity, and I think it's a way of controlling the masses.
mm,
We It's not something that people are used to, but when you get used to it, the government will just call on it, and that's it. The people just falls in line because we have been told to do it. It's something that has been entrenched in our minds already. And I think that there is something behind everything that's going on right now, Sylbourne.
mm.
I really believe there's something behind all of this. The the COVID-19 or the COVID-20 or 21 may be very real. Yes, it is real because
Mm,
some people have been affected greatly, but at the same time, how many people has research been done to show how many people in this country or across the globe over a certain amount of years, let's say,
yeah. Mm,
that have died from the normal flu? From the normal flu. People have died because of that.
yes.
People have died because of that. That's why they have the flu vaccine, isn't it? Because it
Yeah.
was something to counteract the flu virus. Now we have the COVID-19 virus, which is a part, they say, and which is a part of the family of the flu. Then people, they are highlighting
Mm,
the deaths of that.
Yes, yes, yes.
There is something that's not quite right. There's something that's not quite right.
Yeah.
And yes, we all rely on the consultants. We all rely on the experts. We all rely on those whom we say knows what they're saying and knows what they're doing in everything.
You,
And
you
so
know,
what do we as people, the likes of us, do?
mm,
It's like you in your profession. So you're a lawyer. You're an expert in law, in your type of law. Now, for me to come along and to tell people what to do, people are not going to listen to me. But the moment they get somebody like you as a lawyer
mm.
to speak on the particular issue, on the area of law, whether you whether you are leading them down the garden path or not, they are more likely to follow you. Why? Because you're the specialist in that area of law.
So are you trying to say then, as a minister of the gospel or someone who prefer to be the minister, people will tend to follow them as well?
Yes.
Like in Jamaica with that
Like
guy.
it. Exactly.
Ladies
Exactly.
and gentlemen, we're gonna come on. We're gonna touch on that issue there because you know the church has been slated. That I saw a DJ artist name. What's his name? Oh my days! How can I image his name? Uh, what's his name again, man? He come out and say, "Want to stop talk to the church bad." Just because one man said the church bad, I mean they said the church not bad. You know what I mean? And him say everybody calling himself a god, god of this, god of that. Him say his favorite word is suck you something whatever. So him say he's a god suck you. What I can't remember his name. Somebody please tell me his name. He's always a DJ and him always having clashes with everybody. But I'll get his name. But on a serious note though, I do believe that we're in this world now where so much is happening and there's a scare thing which is happening. You know, lots of people are actually scared. Children are scared, and fear is evidence of things sometimes not seen, and we got to be very careful. But I don't dismiss the reality and the fact also at the same time that there is a sickness which is out there, and it's not Vegas. It's not Vegas. It's another guy. He wear a hat sometime, and him always he's a he has his sound system, whatever. Forget his name, you know. But Gary, and another matter. Let's move on quickly because we will always touch on COVID. But the guy who killed Sir David Amess, right?
Yeah.
The guy who killed Sir David Amess, a 25-year-old man has been charged with murder and the preparation of terrorist acts after the fatal stabbing of MP Sir David Amess. Ali Harbi Ali was arrested following the attacks of a constituency surgery in Leon C. Now, Ali is a British man whose father is a former advisor to the Somalian Prime Minister.
Right.
And lots of the Somalian community say they are worried now because of the backlash. You know, Metropolitan Police Commissioner sent his deepest condolence to the family regular and talk about that. What's your take on this whole issue there? You think there's more to it, or it's just an isolated thing?
I don't think it's isolated. I think, I mean, 5 years ago it was the same problem, wasn't it? With
Mm,
can't remember her name. That lost her life because of the same kind of situation where she herself was stabbed to death, and an MP.
yes.
Um, I think that the UK cannot continue to be this way. It just cannot. I mean, the UK is known for police not to carry for police not to carry arms, even though we do have um, armed police, but
Mm,
not in the way as other countries. The UK probably is the only first world country that does not have police, like the Bobby on the beat, more or less, to be carrying a firearm. And probably that's the best thing, because if the little ordinary police was carrying guns, man, I'm telling you, we'd have more deaths. However, even the politicians now in several countries around the world, there are politicians who do have um, security with them,
Mm.
and I strongly believe that England is fast moving towards that area, that point. I do believe at some point the politicians of the United Kingdom will have to have um, you know
Police, guns, armed.
security around them, because I think it was your favorite Home Secretary that said that they may even have to go and do their thing on Zoom. No, I mean, we
Was that Peter Patel?
did she say that, or was it another MP? But I
I
know
think.
it was bandied out there.
Yeah, I know. I know a couple of people have been banding things around, and saying that people can do things by Zoom, just like how
Yes,
we
and
had the pandemic
and
period.
and that in itself, how can you touch people? How can you measure the temperature of a constituency by or the temperature of a constituent on Zoom? No, I mean Zoom takes away that common touch. It takes away the human touch, and I think that if we are going to be doing politics now on platforms like Teams or Zoom or anything that's out there, that's not real politics. Really, that's not politics. That is the AI taking over.
Yeah, but the reality is that since the advent of COVID, people have become a bit more proactive. Um, if an MP is going to meet new persons or so, and they have any sort of concerns, they can always do a sort of a Zoom thing or a Teams thing beforehand, because it's a risk factor. Risk is doing these risk assessments is actually saying a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
if take for instance myself here, I walk every morning. I go into the park and I walk, and people know me. Uh, I put myself on the block already where I stood for election until for office. And if I do so again and I run and I become elected as an MP or whatever in this country, I wouldn't do that normal walk and talk thing in the park there, because people map up my movements. So therefore, I believe that MPs do have a duty to risk assess themselves, especially for those in the inner city. But
Right,
but
right.
even so, that's not the point. It depends on their policies and what they're actually going for. Because apparently he had some issues there, and he speaks a lot, and I don't know what it is. But it could be somebody want to sow their royal oats by actually getting an MP and
Yeah,
getting some thousands of brides or whatever like that. These crazy people.
yeah, yeah. My condolences to the MS family, and I mean, I really wouldn't, wish what's happened to anybody at all for that to take place in a church. I mean, look at that. I mean, you know,
In the church, yeah.
um, you know, the the respect for a place of worship has now gone out the window, especially here in the UK. Anything can happen now in churches. I mean, in America, that happened a few years ago. If you remember, when that young man went into the church, I think in South Carolina, sat down in the prayer meeting, then
Have
got up
sermons.
and killed everybody, or killed
Mm,
most, or shot quite a few people in there. I mean, you know, the fear of God is not there anymore. The fear of God is not in the hearts of men anymore. That has gone out. And if politicians are going to be faced with that kind of thing, can you imagine? I don't want to start anything, but can you imagine ministers who are not
mm,
who you know um, who are in their churches, who
yeah,
counsel people, who see the public? They're just as
yes,
important as the politicians. What then is going to happen? What really
yes,
is going to take place? We're getting to a point of no return, really, when it comes to the safety of important individuals.
Yeah. No, that is something else. You know, but we, as we said, we hope for safety, and the Priti Patel, she's actually going through the process of actually assessing, and for MPs to come forward and to really disclose what their situation is. A
Mm.
few MPs of recent days were being threatened or disclosing some of the things which has been happening to them. But if it was in Jamaica, that wouldn't happen because all these MPs in Jamaica have like 10 outriders. You know what I mean?
Well,
You
I
know?
mean, even some of the politicians have guns themselves anyway.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
even though they're not saying it, but they're packing it. You know,
Yeah.
most. That's why I say most countries, even in the United States, the senators themselves, they may have security around them, but even they themselves, well, as you know, in America, they have a right to own guns, and many of them have more than one anyway.
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
the UK, if you check it out, if if your listeners check it out for themselves, the UK is probably the only country in this world that does not have security by way of how the Americans and the rest of the world have it. The the police, the regular police, do not carry guns.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
The
Well,
regular
listen.
police do not carry guns.
Mm. Well, we move on from that. One of the next topic that people were saying I should touch on was the whole issue of this abduction. There were two abduction in Jamaica of recent days. Two girls. One I believe was 9. Yes, I remember 9 because my daughter is 9. That was, and then another one was 13. It is believed that this took place in a bar St. Thomas, and it was by the same man. Now they found the first girl, and after they found the first girl and looking for the guy, another girl went missing. A 13-year-old girl. Took a couple of days and they found her. And now people are out and about looking for this man. Police, soldier, and everybody with machete and ras and lass and everything like that. Even the police, I believe, was working in concert with the people. Police with their guns, people with their lass, looking for this guy. And guess what? They found the guy and they killed the guy. But guess what? They killed the wrong person, Gary. They killed the wrong person. Jungle justice went bad, went astray. And I saw that coming because I said two things. I said two things when I heard about it. I said, one, just because the guy who took that girl um, was the abductor for the first one, that's no guarantee that he's the same person who took the second girl. And therefore, everybody's looking after this one guy, looking for this one guy, when there could be someone else. And the worst thing is getting the wrong person. And that's what happened. They got the wrong person. Jungle justice. People killed a man. Now, what should happen to those people in real terms? Ladies and gentlemen, what should happen to that person? Those on Instagram, those on Facebook, and those on YouTube. If you were part of, are you an advocate of jungle justice? What should happen to those people who kill the man? Gary.
I don't really know, my brother. I mean, what has happened in Jamaica, and I think if it's mainly Jamaicans on this platform that listen to you, they will know, that what has happened in recent days or yesterday or the day before,
Mm,
it's not the first time.
yes.
Communities have taken the law into their own hands. And just like with everything else, if I can just broaden it out a bit, just to make a point, just like what happened in America with George Floyd and with everybody else after that, the only reason why these things are coming out now is because of social media.
Yes.
All because of social media. They've been killing black men from the year naught in America. Anyway,
Mm,
from time. And it's only because of social media why this thing has been pushed to the front. Same thing now, let us say, with what's happening in Jamaica. Social media and in link with that, children, the lives of children. The lives of children has always been important. It has always been. You can't find a people in this world, I would
Mm.
say, and I am biased, but I don't think you'll ever find a set of people, a nation in this world that love children more than Jamaicans. And I
Mm.
know I'm biased, but I'm saying it. Right? I don't think there's any country that loves children, that loves to have children more
Yes.
than Jamaicans. And and it is sad that this has happened. It is sad. I mean, but that kind of going on has always happened also in Jamaica. But
Mm.
and the thing about it too is that when they catch the man, and it's always probably men that do it, is when they catch the man,
Yes.
there is always some severe beating that happens. I'm not sure about I'm not sure about killing, but there is
Mm.
always some severe beating that takes place. And there's
Yes.
always some people within the community, even up until the point of beating, they don't take the life because there's some people around that will try to spare the
Spirit.
life of the
Mm.
individual. But something happened in this one, really, that, you know, um, they just got the wrong man.
Yeah.
Why? Now, what should happen to them? Well, there's got to be some kind of reprimand. There has to be something. Something's got to take place
Yes.
because they should not have taken the law into their own hands to
But
take
you see,
life.
but could it be deemed that they were somewhat spurred on, encouraged? Someone said by social media, social. I don't know if that's what they meant. Um, Kill the wrong man. There's someone said they should be charged for murder. Because it is murder. It's premeditated. It's not as if it is self-defense. And plus, again, at the same time, the act. Well, what we don't know, unless someone knows this, what we don't know is that was the children sexually molested officially. Maybe the hospital know now or so, but I've not seen that. Were they sexually molested and being abducted, being warrant a death penalty? Anybody who has a child would say yes, castrate him fast. You know what I'm saying? Done, over, finished up. But really and truly, what we are seeing in a situation now is that an innocent person has been found guilty. Jungle justice, and that's the question. Jungle justice, is that something which is acceptable for a civilized society?
No, no, no.
Mm.
I mean, there are laws. There are laws that we need, um, that are put in place. Even listen, there's a saying even within your fraternity,
Mm.
my brother, to say innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
And the law is there for protection. The law is there for protection,
Yes.
and everybody has to abide by those laws. Now, you know, we don't just if that is the case, then everybody then can run the red light and then make judgment on that,
Yeah.
and that can't happen.
A few of the comments that came on social media was on my page. This is why so-called jungle justice cannot be justified. It is just an excuse for cold blood murder. Maybe they just wanted to kill this person. It is wrong to take a life, period. The problem with jungle justice, oh boy, not good. Bring him to justice. There's a big problem with the Jamaican justice system. The big problem with the Jamaican justice system, people are saying, is that the same person was let out. And people are saying that these persons are going to be let out at the same time. So take him out, right?
Right.
Those are one of the things when they said the justice system is unfair. Investigation, then arrest, then that's a court justice. That's not so fair. Jungle justice for a civilized society. The question is Jamaica a civilized society. The next question is Jamaica a real place? Don't know if you heard that before. Is Jamaica a real place? That's the question. If anyone want to come on to the live, I can't take it on the social media on the Instagram. You got to come into the YouTube on the other platform where there's a link. Let me know if you want to do that. Natural beauty. Yeah, jungle justice, and I believe that the government and maybe the officers, based on what I was seeing, maybe need to take a look at how they maybe encourage these things as well. If they encourage it indirectly, not directly. So I'm not going to say that they encourage it directly, but maybe indirectly, if
Mm,
that's the case.
mm, mm. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know. I don't know. I you know, jungle justice. It doesn't help, does it? It doesn't help. If
definitely not.
anything, it causes more mayhem, and it then goes down into chaos.
Mm, mm.
And
It
that is what's going to happen in places like Jamaica if if the rule of law does not stand.
or take some level of precedent.
Yeah.
One of the things I was thinking though, is regarding the perpetrators' abduction of children. A few years ago, when there were some issues in Jamaica regarding girls being abducted, and they were talking about kidneys and all these things or whatever like that being taken, harvesting. I sent down to Jamaica. I got some stuff from Scotland Yard. These were some little things that make noise, Garry. And
Uh-huh.
you pull out the thing and go, ah, it makes this massive noise. It was like some form of alarm. And I believe somehow that there need to be something. I'm going to speak to some guys, you know, about sorry, Michelle, I sent you a link to your phone to come into the live. Check your phone. I WhatsApp it to you. There's a link. Just click on that link and you can come in, and I'll let you in. Um, yes, Gary. There
Uh-huh.
is this thing which was used, and it makes a lot of noise. It can alert the community, alert people around them, because it's make this massive shriek. It's not a whistle that you can blow, because by the time it's like you have it around the neck, you pull it, and it just make this whole heap of noise. Unfortunately, in light of what is happening there with the abduction of children and girls, because every week here a girl is gone missing, and then we're gonna touch on this issue about this pastor, because people are talking about, you know, people are giving sacrifice to God and all those sort of things, you know, crazy thing which are happening. But I believe that somehow children may need to learn self-defense. Unfortunately, and it's unfortunate that you got to put that on a child. I was speaking to someone the other day when that incident happened in Jamaica regarding the the church and the pastor there. There were a lot of gunshot. Turned out that they lived next to the place. The child was so distraughted, 7-year-old
Mm,
child distraughted, man, by as a result of that.
yeah.
Totally crazy. And I'm saying,
Yeah.
hey Michelle, how you doing?
Hi, how you guys doing?
Cool in the
Bye.
bedroom.
Bye.
Say your piece.
Well,
Speak it. Shout it.
no, well, I'm talking about the jungle justice. In a
Yeah,
way, I'm going to tell you a little thing that's happening to us right now, my
yeah.
family. My brother-in-law was living in Jamaica for 21 years now.
Mm,
He lives in oh my God, Good Hope, where Negro, right?
yeah, yeah.
He met in an accident. It's been on social media. He met in an accident like 5 weeks ago,
Yes.
and they pulled him out the car and beat him senseless.
Wow.
Your
Okay,
brother.
huh?
Your brother.
Yeah, my brother-in-law.
Oh dear.
Brother-in-law. Yeah.
Yes, and they beat him unconscious. He's been in the hospital for over a month. My nephews went down. You know, they had to fly down because it's their father. Flew down, and they had to take care of everything. They had to buy everything for him in the hospital. And he passed away last week, Wednesday.
Oh,
Oh wow.
sorry to hear.
Sorry
Sorry.
to hear.
He passed away from the beating that he
From the
sustained
beat.
last week, Wednesday. And there is nothing that the police is doing down here. And this man was what the death was caused by this beating that he got.
Well,
So in a way, sometimes we had people, down there that said, okay, because it was done by scammers. Like, it was guys in his neighborhood that he lived in. This is a church man. This is a man that is in church. He is a member of the church. He used to travel to different small islands to, service and stuff like that.
Mm.
And they did this to him. They pull him out his car and beat him senseless.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And I just happened to get in touch with the reporting sergeant, or the sergeant that was on, that did the investigation.
Hmm.
And not even the doctors knew that he had sustained a beating. They thought that the injuries that he had was from the car accident.
Wow.
Okay,
So let's back up.
so
Let's back up again. The car accident happened. Was it because he was blamed for the car accident or what?
well, they said it was the guys that the accident happened with. They said that it was his fault. Well, that's what they're gonna say, because he can't speak. You know, he can't say you beat him senseless. From the way you could see the accident, because it's on social media. It's called a guy named Popeye or something like that, that goes around each parish and he records stuff like that.
Okay.
And you see him laying on the ground, sense have no, he's not conscious or anything like that.
Mm.
And now he's dead. So I'm asking the no one wants to talk, and that's a problem, because everybody is scared to say what they
Mm.
see.
Yeah.
No one wants to talk. The person who went and got his cousin that lives there went and got the cousin to let them know that they almost killed him. They was about to go down in his head with a brick, and he's the one that went out there and stopped them. Asked them how could they do something like that when
Mm.
this is your neighbor. These are neighbors, but
Mm.
these are young guys. Hello?
No, no, you're there. You're
Oh,
there. I put
these
you up there. Yeah.
these are young guys
Mm.
that they're known in the neighborhood to be scammers and all that kind of stuff. You seen the accident? Their car is flipped over, and his bus that he drives was it just the airbag deployed, and there's
Mm.
nothing that's going to be done about that, because what they're saying, when I spoke to the officer yesterday to ask him, okay, are you aware that Mr. Trevor Bailey passed away? And he's like, yes, he's aware that he passed away, but he cannot do anything not unless somebody come forward to say what they seen.
Mm.
So that's like somebody, he's dying in vain. So now we have people that will say that's down there, and that they'll say, listen, send us a certain amount of money, we'll do jungle justice.
Really? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in a way, we're here and we're like, they can't get away with something like that. You beat a man senseless and now he's dead. He left 4 boys behind, 5 boys behind, and they're not going to see their dad anymore, anything like that. And it's a shame, but it's how the system go in Jamaica, that I don't know what's going on, because to tell the truth, this pastor or whatever he is, I know that's not I wouldn't call him a pastor.
Yes.
He's going to be out in no time, and you're not going to hear anything else about it. It's not going to be in the news anymore.
Stay with me, because we're gonna touch on that. I hope you can stay with me. But let's go back to the jungle justice bit. So, sorry about your brother-in-law, but the
yeah.
whole essence of jungle justice in Jamaica, because for years people sometimes say, Michelle, boy, rapists and killer on them Monday. Sometimes people in a way say they wish that the people actually deal with them for those cases which are obvious. One cannot justify that. I'm not justifying it. But as Garry said, it is something which has been going on for a while.
Yes. And like you said, I mean, like what happened just now with them killing this guy. Well, I think that they should be arrested and up for murder, because that's wrong. As a matter of fact, the guy that they killed didn't even look anything like the guy that they were looking for.
Yes.
But sometimes what I'm trying to say is that with us as a family now, and we lost our loved one, we will say yes, jungle justice, because the cops is not going to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do it because of how their protocol go. I'm like, it's on the news. So now what we're trying to do now is saying that if we don't hear anything within a week or so, because right now they're doing autopsy on him.
Yes.
You know, before the boys could go down to bury their dad and all that kind of stuff. What we're saying is that we're going to have to put it in the newspaper, and the Observer, we're going to have to, you know, contact the Observer to try to get it out in the news, to push it out that this man, he's dead in vain. And you have these hoodlums that's still in the neighborhood, you know, and people are scared to speak out. And that's the problem that we have with us, with the Jamaican, is that they're so timid. No one gets together and say, well, listen, we want to rid these kind of people out of our country, out of the district, out of the community. You know, everybody's scared to say, speak out.
Garry, what's your take on that point there? That this linking with all jungle justice there, and what Michelle just said.
Well, I mean, Michelle is right. I mean, you can't fault what Michelle is saying. You see, again, there's a lot that's going on. The police themselves. I mean, Michelle, you're a Jamaican, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Right.
But I've lived in America most of my life.
Okay. Are you still in Jamaica, or are you here?
No, I'm in America. I live in Jamaica. I live in America most of my life. I've been here from age 7.
Good. Okay, that's fine. Jamaicans all over the world, let me say, they know what the police are like. The police, they themselves know what's going on. They're afraid to go down there and do anything. They don't want to.
Because the thing about it is that when the investigating officer went on the scene, when the ambulance came to pick him up, well, here you have to report to the ambulance. Okay, as the investigating officer, you report to the ambulance what happened, because I'm quite sure it was we seen videos, we have pictures, we seen the video, we have pictures of the accident, we have picture of him laying on the ground helpless, right? And also there was a lot of bystanders out there, a lot of bystanders that were seen what took place, right? I'm quite sure that somebody must have said out loud, boy, them beat this man to death, or them beat him, or something like that. So as a cop, you wouldn't report that. The ambulance people took him to the hospital. The doctors wasn't aware that he was beat. I mean, I think that is like ridiculous. So when I spoke to the officer yesterday, he's saying that he couldn't report that because no one come forward to say they seen it. No one is going to come forward because they're scared to talk. So I had to say to him, listen, this is the culture of Jamaica. You know, the culture of Jamaica is that you have these guys there and people are scared to speak out. So with Trevor being dead now, who is going to speak out for him? You know what I'm saying? No one is going to come forward and say, okay, they seeing it. So what's going to happen now? That's going to be swept under the rug. Nothing is going to come out of it.
No, you see the thing about it. It's just sad when you think about what's happened. If we can, well, probably it may be a bit. I don't know how old everybody is here, but going back to the mid-70s, late 70s, early 80s, when there was a lot of gun violence and gang violence and everything. Police also active. When you call the police in Jamaica, they come to the house and shoot the person who's called them, then ask questions. That's the mentality that we're having to deal with. I don't think things really have moved on. Yes, it's like you can always dress up a pig. You can put the pig in tuxedo, put up perfume and aftershave, but it's still a pig. The pig is going back to the
vomit,
to the muck.
Yes,
it's just like that for the police in Jamaica. yes, I mean, it's sad to say that there was a few that will do their best. Few. But the majority of police officers in Jamaica, I would want to say, sadly, probably, is that if they go to the communities where they having to ask
They
questions,
paid them off.
exactly,
They paid them off
exactly,
because even a cousin that's there is like, when she seen that I was getting involved and I was saying, listen, I need to, I'm about to call the big one up in that district and all that kind of stuff, because I'm saying it cannot just go in vain like this.
Mm.
The first thing she said to me, because she owns a hotel down there, please don't even mention her name because they know where she lives.
Yeah.
right.
And she didn't even want to go to the Negro police because she's saying she don't trust them because they're involved in it too as well. So
They
they get
know.
paid, they pay them off, these guys, and it's a hush hush.
Yeah. If we okay, if we just because of time, if we quickly moved on, which is of a similar nature in some respect with this, Gary, I don't know if you heard about this recent incident happened whereby there was this church pastor, um, whereby there's a big altercation or shoot up. Apparently, there's some sacrifice or so. I don't know if Michelle, you know much about the whole thing. Um, Michelle, can
Yeah,
you
I
hear me?
mean, Bishop
I'm
Smith
hardly
is,
hearing you. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here with
Yeah,
my stuff.
we can hear you clearly
is
though.
it a Bishop David Smith? Is that his name? I
Yeah, yeah,
believe.
something like that. Yeah.
I mean,
What's that? I didn't hear you guys.
Now we're talking about the so-called churchman, bishop, whatever.
Oh,
I don't know if you know the full story about what happened there.
oh yeah. I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just sad. It's just very, very sad.
It's
And
sad. It's sad because I know this church guy has been with a lot of politicians,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of artists,
Profilers.
and all that kind of stuff. And you think that a man that's making $1 million, putting $1 million a week in the bank got things to do with that as well. This go higher than we even would think it goes. This guy is going to be out of jail. His cronies is going to be out of jail as well, and you're not going to hear it no more on media, no more.
And your take is because of the the level of interaction and association he has, because I've seen him with very high profile persons, politicians from all walks in Jamaica, Gary.
yes,
Were you in a picture with him, Gary, as well? Were you?
I don't I don't know him, and I don't want to know him either. I don't think. I mean, it just puts churches, it just puts ministers in a very bad light. And there's
Mm,
some people who just put everything, put all ministers into one pot and say they're all wicked and bad and have no heart and mind for people. Which, of course, that's total, you know, away from the truth. I think people like these. I mean, we've got a lot of prophets. Where were these prophets? Where were these apostles when the COVID virus was coming? Why didn't they tell us that it was coming?
mm,
Why during the lockdown they haven't gone into the hospitals, into the hospices, into the care homes to heal people? Yet the, they're getting money from where? From who? From
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
people like us. We're silly enough to swallow everything that these people are saying. And
Exactly.
I'm just so very saddened that
Yes.
people have lost their lives because of this charlatan. He should be put in jail. If there's anybody that
Mina
should be put in
sad.
jail, it's him.
The only people I'm sad for is the little kids. Those grown
Mm,
ass people should know better.
They should.
mm,
Yeah, they
I'm
should.
sorry. I'm sorry to say I don't feel sorry for any of the adults, only
mm.
the kids.
But
Mhm.
Gary, I saw a birthday celebration on YouTube where it was his birthday and this massive about three or
Yeah,
so
and I'm a walk
limousine.
with umbrella over
Oh
him.
my
Them have
days!
umbrella walk over him. Him in
Was
the
that
pool.
Jamaica? Was
Them
that
have
Jamaica?
umbrella over him. They go in there and all of them is naked inside that place. Naked,
Oh wow.
Naked.
naked. Thing a swing round inside of the place.
Playing sword fight, Garry.
I mean, no, I'm gonna say I'm going into a church and it's supposed to be about God and all that. I mean, see them little freaky thing here, them little thing that's not right, and you still stay there and be a part of that. Come on, me don't feel sorry for them. The kids them is who I feel sorry for. And if some of the kids and parents get out and the kids them, they should take the kids them from the parents. Me sorry.
Listen, what it says is that there's a girl named Mika Jarrett, the elder brother of a 39-year-old, sorry, Tanika Gardner, whose throat was slashed during sacrifice ritual at the Pathways International Kingdom Restoration Ministries in Paradise, said he warned his sister that he had misgivings about Bishop Kevin Smith. That's his name, Bishop Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, yes.
But it's a whole essence of how he was able to somehow, I would say, punctuate himself into the Jamaican system, into the culture. You know, there's a girl, there's a lady there, or child was slash slain, dead. You know what I mean?
Well,
You know,
she old enough. She old enough to know better. This is the problem, is that we're not doing critical thinking. The whole of them
yeah,
probably in the think that them all get rich and them all get this and money all come through and financial this. That time some of them probably don't even have no bathroom inside of them house. And you give your money to this man, yeah, and you have to go outside and use bathroom and look on the house. Look on the compound that they were in.
Yeah.
Look at the compound that they were in. And you up there with your poor self, giving away all this money, letting the man talk about you have 10 fingers, so you're supposed to get 10% and all them things, eh? Come on now.
I heard that as well. Somebody signed over their will or so to him, or a lot of things. I mean, yeah, David Koresh. People remember David Koresh,
Yes.
a guy in the States.
Yes.
Jim Jones. I
Yeah.
mean, don't we read
Jim
and know
Jones.
history? With the Kool-Aid man, drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Many people are still drinking Kool-Aid. Different type of Kool-Aid these days.
Well, how about that 22-year-old that left law school? Did you hear about that one?
Oh yes,
No.
yes, and yeah, they're within
And
the
she said
same.
God call her,
Yes.
tell her to leave school, and no, the parents them don't even know where she's at.
Yeah, because she was involved with the same geezer, isn't it?
I don't know if it's the same. Was it the same
I think
cult that?
I think it linked. I think there was a link there, but of course,
Oh,
you know.
well,
But
I don't know.
but you know, it's interesting, guys. But listen, gonna wrap up now. But I just I wanted to touch that because I keep evading these issues all the while. But I don't know. Is Jamaica a real place?
Let me tell you something. Jamaica was an island that I used to say I go back
Yes.
twice a year.
Yeah.
When we go down and we bury Trevor,
That's
Jamaica
it.
not send me back. Sorry.
It's sad. It's sad that such a beautiful country like Jamaica
That
is.
little island looked like it's about to sink.
But can I come from a different angle though? If one actually go onto social media and type in and look on the bloggers and the vloggers going on, all you're actually seeing coming up is who rape who slap who, this geezer, what's happening, the abduction. It makes you wonder, and somebody said this to me, you know, the majority of the persons who are spewing out those information could be about 3% of the country, you know. What is not coming out, Michelle? There are some felt good stories in Jamaica at the same time.
Oh yeah.
But that is not
Oh
coming
yeah.
through.
Oh yeah. And then the thing about it, we have the Oba culture. And this is what a lot of them believe in. That Obia business and all them things there, because all the little cult there. That's what it is. You know, you have somebody that's telling what, let me tell you something. It's been in our culture from ever since.
Yes.
When your baby born, them tell you to put the Bible over the baby head for protect the baby and put on a little thing upon the baby. If you buy land, them tell you to cut a chicken and sprinkle the blood upon the land. So that's our culture.
So it's just like Haiti.
Yes,
St.
we
Thomas.
have the rape culture, we have the Obia culture.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
Wow.
It's not
Garry,
good.
you're gonna
It's not good.
Garry, Garry, you may have to pray a prayer before we leave.
Yeah.
But guys, listen. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you so for joining us today. That is really fantastic, and that is really good. But
Okay, guys.
we're gonna keep following up this whole topic still, and give a perspective for Jamaica. And Saturday night, as usual, Michelle, talk and sip.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. All right. So
Bye bye.
see you
All
around,
right then,
Michelle. Thank
Mitch.
you so
Thank you
much for
for
that.
joining.
Bye bye, Michelle. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, yes, Garry. It's a sad occasion there,
It
as
is.
much as possible. But
It
but I
was.
want to just bring in something here because I'm gonna flag up this person here and this gentleman here. Let me see if I can find some information about him. He's Kenyama, right? Kenyama, and he's the Minister of Foreign Affairs, State of the African Diaspora, SOA, Deputy Executive Chairman of the Jamaica Lumineers Secretariat, right? I just put that up there just for now because I'm going to have an interview with him some point next week and to talk about some of the support the state of the African diaspora sought on the economic community of the sixth region in generating economic liberation of peoples worldwide, right? And that's him. He's a bilinguist, wealth of knowledge, experience in leadership, culture, history, politics, youth development, and music, among his others. Astuteness. Kenyama Brown. Next week, hopefully, I'm supposed to be doing an interview with him to look at different things and how to bring in the black community. A part of my Black History Month, thing,
Right.
which is happening as well. How do you think Black history has been fared this time around?
Well, I think it's been a bit more subdued this year
It
because
is,
again
isn't
of
it?
what everything has been going on. You know.
I sense that as well. Very, very, very subdued.
Yeah.
I see a few different events popping up over there. But I think the message really regarding Black History Month is that we cannot say a month is Black History. I think maybe the message is coming true now that we need to keep doing things regular and
Right.
not just waiting for a month to be proactive as people,
Right. Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So that's it there. And so Garry, listen, I want to wish you all the best, man.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Mm,
I look
yeah.
forward to it every year, man.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well,
That's I think. And
every week.
just to let you know that there are somebody I'd say hello to you as well. J Ben Low.
Okay. Okay. Well, hello, Jay Benlow.
Yeah. She say hello to the family as well, and so like that. So, so next week we'll talk, Garry, and of course we have some different things to discuss. All right.
All right then, sir. God bless. You take
Good
care
night.
now. Give my
Take
love
care,
to the
Garry.
family.
All the best. Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is for another show this Saturday. This Thursday evening, 21st of the 10th. And for those joining me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Just one more thing before I go as well. I just remembered that Sunday night I'll be speaking with Paul Chambers, talking about the Jamaica Legion Poppy Appeal. Jamaica Legion Poppy Appeal. And talking about this concert, which is going to be taking place on the 30th of October. Gospel concert, with different guest speakers, different artists, and it's about the Poppy Appeal for Jamaica. So this Sunday night, I'll be joined by Paul. If there's any changes to it, I'll let you know in regard to that. So that is supposed to be a very interesting discussion with Paul Chambers as well. Without further ado, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. Remember to like and subscribe to the Sylbourne Show on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and as well Saturday night Talk and Sip. Make sure you tune in to Talk and Sip as well. That's going to be great. As usual, we always have different topics. I might have Mr. Jermaine Sway, maybe not this week, but I'm planning to have a discussion with him. Let me just get it right. Always get it right. German Dyer. German Dyer is the coordinator for or choreographer for the Miss Jamaica. He's going to be going to India very soon as well. So check that out. Maybe not this Saturday, but maybe the following Saturday will be coming on Talk and Snip as well. And I'm planning to get also Dilly Chris. Dilly Chris is a dancehall artist. He's presently in Colombia. You know, touching base with these guys, touching base with some fresh faces, because as I said before, there are so many fantastic things, fantastic people who are doing things out there. But if we're not careful, we can just be seeing just the negative things which are coming at us, hitting at us. But I try to go against the flow as much as possible. And make sure you tune in to my walks in the morning, live walk and talk in the morning, motivational moments, myself just having some rapping, having some dancing, having some skipping, having some push up and some press up, because we've got to, at this time, do what we did when we were in lockdown that kept us sane, and we keep doing the same. That is something which I saw a while. Okay, so have a good night. God bless you. And for all of those who came up, Michelle, thank you so much for making that cameo appearance. And if you want to come on the show, just let me know. Okay, peace out. Boom.